The code. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Team Dare to Dream Determination Nation Super Sister call. I am really happy tonight to have a guest speaker to present to you. But first, I want to just remind everybody that we have a bunch of coaches getting ready to go on our Success Club trip later this week and next week. So look for posting, and you can definitely use that as an opportunity to promote the business opportunity, to show people what we can do as coaches. And if nothing else, let it fuel your fire for the next Success Club trip to Riviera Maya next year. And we are, about halfway through the month. So kudos to those of you that have already hit your goals. But you know what? We have tons of time left to change lives and take advantage of that Spring into Health promotion with the All Access Challenge Pack, which is absolutely amazing. So please keep sharing about that. Remember, it takes 7 times to talk to somebody or to ask somebody or to present something before somebody actually might say yes. So don't give up on them. So many people have given up on themselves. It's just very important that we don't give up on them. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. We have Colleen Curtice, and she is in Lake Tahoe. So we are not going to be too jealous of that because we'll go visit her someday, and then we'll see how beautiful it is. Colleen and I haven't really got to know each other that well. I think I sat behind you at Summit last year, or I noticed your beautiful, colorful hair, and I was like, who's that girl? But Colleen is a 7-star diamond. She is a Success Club legend. She's 2-time elite. She's a 6-figure earner in her business. And how long have you been coaching, Colleen? 3 years?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. So there you go. So I'm looking forward to learning more about your story. And Colleen's going to talk to us about going from coach to CEO with your business. So take it away.
Hi, ladies. I'm sorry that I look very white. I don't know what the lighting's doing right now, but thanks for having me here tonight. I'm extremely passionate about this topic of kind of just comparing successful coaches, unsuccessful coaches. What's the difference? What's the gap in between? Because I wake up dedicated every single day to help people live a vibrant life. Like, I'm obsessed with this lifestyle, even beyond Beachbody. This is just the foundation for me. And I started off speaking on team calls about 2 years ago on the topic of mastering your mindset. I'll definitely be sharing my story with you guys, but I like to kind of preface where all this comes from, because I came from like rock bottom, negative Nancy life. I didn't want to hear anything about positivity, and now here I am speaking on it. So I'm extremely passionate. And then I kind of segued into going from coach to CEO, because I feel like there's so many people that sign up and they're a great Beachbody coach, but what makes someone make that huge transition into a business? And obviously Deborah knows what she's doing because of her accolades and her amazing business, but I like to share kind of my perspective on it. So my story, 31 years old, live in Lake Tahoe. I'm originally from Boston, Mass. So I'm 3,000 miles away from where I grew up. I grew up the lifestyle of the majority of the traditional Bostonians, where you go to school, get good grades, and most of them get their masters, and then you get married and you build a house and kids. And then once you retire, then you go have fun and live your life. And I was kind of the black sheep of my family, where I crave adventure. I love thriving outside of my comfort zone. So, you know, as employees for most of our life, we're shoved in this little box, and I hated the box. So when I turned 24, I packed up all my things, and I had an amazing job with Verizon Wireless that I had out of college. I was a manager of a multi-million-dollar Verizon store at the age of 23. And I think back and I'm like, how did I do that? I have no idea. But that's all I knew. So that's what I did. And I packed up my things and moved across country because I needed adventure. And now I know why hippies hug trees and why people love nature, because it's such a beautiful place here in Lake Tahoe. But the sad part for me was when I got here, I ended up working for a terrible boss. The type that drove me into the ground, made me feel this big. I had stomach ulcers. I was partying. I racked up credit card debt. I was trying to fill all the voids. So a blessing in disguise came my way. And I came into work one day and I found out that that manager who didn't like me and made my life a living hell transferred me to a store that was closing. So I thought I was getting away from this terrible boss, and then I found out, oh wait, I'm getting laid off. So I felt like, the rug was ripped out from underneath me. At that very moment that I lost my job, I had gone through a breakup. My grandfather had passed away. I was in $20,000 of credit card debt, and I'm far away from home. So just like, painting a really ugly picture for you right now. But I remember going out to my car, and I'm really close with my family, called my dad and said, what am I going to do? And my dad's like, you'll figure it out. I think this is a blessing in disguise. Because I was taught in some way, shape, or form that no matter what, you show up and you work hard. I was a loyal employee. And I didn't know back then that, oh no, you can make choices and you can make changes and you can decide your life. I wish someone had taught me that outside of the traditional build your resume, and your resume is everything. I went to Catholic schools for 16 years, and we're not even religious. It was more for the work ethic and discipline. So I'm so grateful for that, because that's a lot of what this is today. But again, I was like, Dad, I don't want to go back to that type of environment. It chewed me up. It spit me out. I'm made for something different. So I needed to get happy and healthy. I really wanted that before and after picture. For those of you that know Elizabeth Hartkey, I hope you do. She's amazing. She's my upline. I went to high school with her. I was the customer who bought a challenge pack and returned it back in 2012. I came back summer 2013 and said, I want to coach. So she shoved me over here in her business center and said, yeah, whatever. And I never looked back. I'm kind of the rare gem that from day one, I did this. Maybe some of you did that, but I was that person who said, I'm going to own a business. And that's why I love this topic, because I didn't treat it as a hobby. I didn't treat it as something that might work out for me. It was totally my plan A, and I became a student from day one. So I think where people kind of get lost, and this is kind of where I'm segueing into the topic here, but when I started, I told myself, Colleen, the things you knew at Verizon, like you were good at Verizon, you were good at being a retail manager, but this is different. This is very different. It's network marketing. It's being an entrepreneur. It's health and fitness. It's everything you don't know. So I always tell people that you have to come into this like you know nothing. You can't have the mindset of an employee, because as an employee, we're forced to fit in this box. You show up at 9, and if you're a minute late or a minute early, no, show up at 9. And these are your tasks that you do from A to Z. As an entrepreneur, we're outside the box completely. And this is where people flail around and they feel like they're failing. They're not used to the uncomfortable without structure. Although we have the trainings and, you show up on team calls and we have the to-dos for you, but it's all the personal growth that people are not used to because it's not regimented like a schedule. So that's the first thing I tell my new coaches is throw the employee mentality out the window when you sit down to do Beachbody. Even if you're doing it part-time, you can't trade time for money. That's what an employee does. You have to come into this being willing to flail around. So when you sign up as a Beachbody coach, let's say Deb is your upline, it's kind of like she locks you in a dark room. She locks you in a dark room and you're like, what did I just do? I have no idea what I'm doing. It's really dark. I feel alone and scared. And the successful entrepreneurs are the ones who stand up in the dark room and flail around until they find the light switch. So the more you can become comfortable with that uncomfortable, and again, be the student. Expect to make those mistakes, flail around, the more successful that you'll be. Now, you've heard that before, but now I want you to pair a situation where you're nervous and you feel like you're failing, and remember my annoying little voice and say, oh yeah, that chick told me that this feeling is normal. If you can welcome that feeling and know that I've been there, Deb's been there, other leaders have been there, you just have to be confident that you'll figure it out. So when I sat down and wrote down my notes for this of what's the difference between the Beachbody coaches and the CEOs, it's that CEOs handle everything differently. Their fears, their obstacles, what life throws at them. And I kind of started to tell a little bit of my story at the beginning, but I deem myself life's guinea pig of here, let's lose your corporate job. Here, let's put your husband through cancer twice. Here, let's give you a terrible sickness that you don't know you're sick and you still have to grow a fitness business, but you can't work out. Then your grandmother is going to pass away and you're 3,000 miles away from home, like all just happening at once, right? And you're probably like, okay, Colleen, like I understand you have things in your life. I do too. The only difference with people who can overcome those kind of obstacles are the people who become the CEOs and they handle everything differently. So I'm a very visual person. Here's the example. So tomorrow, when life throws you a curveball or business throws you a curveball and it falls right in your lap, you're staring at this obstacle like, what just happened? Why is this happening to me? That's what we ask ourselves. I want you to picture, again, my annoying voice and say, and remember that the universe is putting this challenge in your life for a reason. The universe is saying, girl, you told me you want this so bad. Your family needs it. You want it. You'll do anything for it. Well, here's this life challenge. And it's always going to be a roller coaster. So you either have to show me now or you're never going to get tough enough to show up and become the CEO. So when cancer came our way and all that crazy stuff, I decided to become the CEO. The difference between the coaches and the CEOs also is that CEOs, they serve others. Beachbody coaches typically go, oh, I'm a little stressed, I'm a little busy, so I'm not going to do a challenge group this month. Or you know what, life got a little hard, or I got a birthday party on Super Saturday, I'm going to go to the birthday party. CEOs, guys, they show up and they serve, and their lives are dedicated to other people. So when your personal growth journey and your mission statement and your why is so solid that nothing, and I mean nothing, will get in the way, you feel so excited and confident that you're figuring life out. Have you guys ever had those moments of PD after a hard workout, getting results? You're like, oh, I'm totally getting this. I want to help other people do that. When you feel like that in all areas of your life, then you're gonna basically duplicate what you've learned to others. So if you're still fearful of making posts on social media, if you're fearful about doing the hard work, you're probably still in the coach zone, and that's okay. It took me probably until like year 2.5 to have the light bulb moment of I'm a CEO and I'm serving others. It's not about my fear anymore. It's not about like, oh, I'm too busy. I figured out what works for me and I'm unstoppable in my personal growth journey. Like, watch out obstacles. If they fall in my lap, I'm like, universe, bring it on. Your only option when obstacles fall in your lap as a CEO is to what? Fight for it. I promise you obstacles. I promise you life tragedies. I hope tragedies don't happen in your life, but that's reality. And so the main difference is the way that you treat those fears, obstacles, and challenges. So I always tell my team, stop resisting the hard. When it gets hard, you'll hear my little voice in the back of your head and you'll say, oh yeah, that chick told me this was going to be hard. So what do I do now? So the first how of how to become a CEO is how can and will you serve? And if you can't really answer that quite yet, you just have to dive into your personal growth and personal development more. My motto in this business is the more personal growth that you do, the more success you will see in this business. And I'll tell you why. Because when it gets hard, it's not like, oh, this is hard. It's hard. And then you go, okay, how do I fix it? What do I do? What can I change? Who can I ask questions? Who can help me with this? What do I need to change? All these questions will start to come up and you feel equipped for the obstacle. So I talked a little bit about going from employee to entrepreneur, but I forgot to say one thing. So when you become an entrepreneur, you have to understand the mentor-mentoree relationship. So if Deb's my upline and I'm the new entrepreneur, I have to remember that she's not my boss who sits me down at a review and says, hey, Colleen, social media kind of sucks. Right? It doesn't sound like that. Your boss might tell you that, like, hey, your performance, your tardiness, your attitude at work, it's not really working for us here. Your boss is going to tell you that. As an entrepreneur, your mentors, your coaches, your uplines, the people you're inspired by, you have to be completely coachable. So that when Deb says, hey, social media is a little weak right now. All right, let's work on your conversations a little bit. How are your follow-ups going? Don't think of it as, oh, Deb's down my neck right now. She won't leave me alone. She's grilling me. You have to say, this is what I expect as an entrepreneur, her to push me, her to lead me. She's done it, so you have to do and duplicate what she's done, right? So I think that's something, I'll send a message to sometimes a new coach and be like, hey, remember we said we don't really share links? like, hey, buy my new challenge pack. I'm like, remember we kind of talked about that? And I said, I hope that you can, take constructive criticism. I'm here to help. I don't want you to shoot yourself in the foot. Just remember, not your boss. I'm here to help. We're business partners. And I presented to them like that. So you yourself, when you're mentoring or being mentored, just remember that. Okay. I want to make sure that, like, I stay on time because I know, like, we started late. But going from Beachbody coach to CEO doesn't just require the vital behaviors. So I think, like, we made it sound a little too simple sometimes. It's like, okay, invite. Yes, you do that. And then you do PD, drink a shake, and you recognize, right? 4 vital behaviors. But then I think that's all a coach does, and then they don't spend time sharpening their skills. So yes, you might do 20 invites in a day or whatever your number is, 5, 3, 1, 0. But if you're not sharpening your skills consistently and tweaking them based on the market, based on what's happening, based on where your life is, you have to There's 5 skills I'm going to share with you. Inviting was just one of the examples. But there's 5 skills you need to sharpen. So the Beachbody coaches are the ones that will always either plateau or never get ahead. They just invite. They just do PD. And I'm going to talk about all the PD at the end. They just make posts on social media. The CEOs, they do it in a big way. It serves others. So guys, if I don't feel like sharing today, that's not an option. That's what we call playing the me song. Like, oh, I don't feel like it today. But when you're a CEO, you go, no, I have to share because my team, my audience, my family, my haters, the people, my fans, everyone's watching. So I want you guys to picture, I'll tell you the 5 skills in a second, but I want you to picture your life is a fighting ring. So picture UFC style fighting ring. I want you to picture the lights and all the money that everyone spent to be there. Okay? And it's you and it's life. That's the main event. And so if you are really in this fighting ring, you and life, and your family's in the audience, your audience and everyone, and you're putting on the show, and they've paid thousands of dollars to be there, it's on TV, pay-per-view event, when life throws a punch at you and knocks you down, would you lay there? Lights are on, it's live streaming on TV, and your kids and your husband and everyone's watching. You would not lay there. You have to treat this business and your life just like that. But the hard part is, it's just me in this office. There's no spotlights, there's no UFC, no one paid to come. I treat it as if when life knocks me down, I stand back up because everyone's watching. So what happens is I'll see people, life gets in the way. And I hope that no one takes this personal. There's always like one situation where someone's like, you don't understand my life. And if you guys follow Brendan Burchard, he talks about that being caged thinking. If you're dividing yourself and saying, Colleen, you don't understand my life. You know nothing about me. You have caged thinking. I want you to have charged thinking. I want you to have the mindset that it's you and me right here equals. Even though Deb has more accolades than me, it's me and Deb. We're right here together. We're Beachbody coaches. We're CEOs. We're trying to live an awesome life. We're all here for the same reason. I hope you picture yourself as here and here. So don't start justifying why someone else has success or because, we don't understand how hard your life is. You make the decision to become the victor of your life at any given moment. You make the decision to be the UFC fighter and fight back when life knocks you down. And don't forget who's watching you in the stands. Okay, that was a side tangent, but I have to share that fighting ring example because it's my favorite. People ask me how I got through the last 3 years of my life, and I say, you know what? I fought. I dug. My word, my mojo that I told myself every day under my breath, out loud, in the mirror was forward. So tomorrow when life is hard, you have one choice. You react to it and you wallow in it, or you respond to it and you fight back. And that's how you keep going. And you will build up that muscle just like you did on day 1 of Insanity when you said, holy S, this is hard. I don't know how I'm ever going to do this. And by day 60, you're like, I got this. Build up your muscle. Everyone talks about Success Club and Diamond and all the trips and all the money and all the team cycles, but no one takes the time to talk about the mindset that you need to get to all those beautiful things. So I teach my team to strengthen their mind, to show up like a CEO. And it's funny because I always pick on the people with the black boxes on the screen that don't show up, that don't show their face. Well, someday, coaches, when you're speaking on a call, it sucks to stare at those black boxes. It really does. So if you want to be the CEO, show up. And this is why I'm tough love with my team, because I'm like, you guys better be showing up. You're not getting my help if you're not coming to team calls. If you watch the recording every now and then, that's fine. But make it part of your life to show up. All right, let's talk about the 5 skills that you must sharpen. Do you guys know who Pat Ryleman is? Do you guys follow him at all? Okay, he was deemed a brand new Million Club member as of like 5 minutes ago. So kudos to him, but he talks about these 5 skills, and I've adopted this into my business and trainings. So when I'm helping a coach, they've got their mindset, they've got their before and after, they've got their challenge groups. Now let's focus on business building activities. First skill is social media. I love social media, so I'm gonna like zip my lips because I'll talk to you for 24 hours about social media. You need to find your flow on social media. It's 2017. In 2017, when you make a post about your shake and just your workout for 3 years, you will become white noise in 2017. It needs to have an emotional connection. It needs to relate to your customers. You have to serve in your post. When I'm writing, I genuinely think about who's the babe who's gonna like and comment and message me after this post because it was so flippin' awesome. I treat my posts as if it's a Super Bowl ad. That's the difference between a Beachbody coach and a CEO. A Beachbody coach is like, I'm gonna throw up a post about my Flex Friday. The CEO, they show up and they say, okay, I have to think smart. What is gonna get someone to like on this, comment on this, maybe join my group? Because when they like and comment on it, I'm building a relationship, whether it's on the post or in a message. So what I mean by Super Bowl ad is, guys, think about the Super Bowl. They spend millions of dollars to capture the attention and to leave an impression on the consumer's brain. You have to do the same. So your next post after this call has to be like a Super Bowl ad. You spent $1 million on it. Think like an advertiser. You're marketing yourself. The posts, the pictures, the words, your personal growth, it all matters. Okay, that's my little tangent on social media. Like I said, I could talk about it forever. That's the first skill. The second skill that you need to sharpen is finding people and forming people. So yeah, you might do PD, invite, workout, all that cool, vital behaviors, but are you finding new people? Are you connecting with them? More importantly, what are you saying to them? That's usually my go-to when I work with my coaches is I'm like, hey, can I see what your connections look like? And I'm like, well, no wonder why no one is responding to your conversations. And if you're connecting and you're like, but my conversations don't go anywhere, it's because your social media is not strong. My posts are kick ass and I message them, boom. It's like I'm talking to my neighbor. They know me already. Your social media is building trust while you're food shopping. Your social media on live videos is sharing your life and connecting with people while you're sleeping. Social media has a huge, important role in finding and also forming with people. Okay, the third skill is inviting and following up. Those kind of go hand in hand. So you're inviting. I've tried a million different ways. Cold, warm, free groups. You know, you're going to have to find your flow. What I love about this business is that it's not black and white. There's a lot of gray area. You have to become the CEO and figure out what's going to work for you. If you haven't read the 10X rule, go read it. I've heard it's great on audio too, but I love the book itself. The fourth one, this is my favorite skill. Give an amazing experience. So again, there's 450,000 Beachbody coaches. What makes you stand out? It's your amazing experience. Not only is it your social media, what you say to them in a message, but it's also, are you going above and beyond, or are you just running a T25 challenge group? 2017, guys, you really have to think about how can I serve these people? I've challenged my team. I'll give you guys my little insight to how I help my team with this, is I challenge my team to go above and beyond. So I know a lot of people are like, keep it simple. I'm kind of like the opposite. I'm like, we can keep it simple, but at a certain point, you kind of have to go the extra mile if you really want to impact lives. I'm sure that the people who are succeeding here have gone the extra mile. So clean eating groups and the ab challenges, those are cool, but I don't think that I'm going to grasp someone's attention to the point that they're like, I need Colleen to teach me her ways about life. So I challenge my team to come up with a 5-day, 3-day group of their kind of like life philosophies of how they've made these changes. So leadership in this business is about transferring belief to others. So how can you, based on your story and your journey, put together 3 days of value of how you've made changes in your life? You're a full-time working single mom and you meal plan and you get a 30-minute workout in, please teach me your ways. You know, that's what people want to know. I'm not even a mom, I just use the example. Okay? I am someone who went from corporate world, broke as a joke, like, how did I change my ways? I created a 5-day workshop and that's what I teach people. Inviting to that is cake. Every babe I talk to, I'm like, girl, I want you in my free group. That's my funnel to get them into my challenge group. I talk about health and wellness. Beachbody isn't my life. That's a part of what gives me life. I talk about the makeups and the skincare, liver health, women's health. I talk about everything. So if this is kind of like way over your head, dive into your personal growth to the point, guys, where on a scale of 1 to 10, you can say, I'm living the most vibrant life. Because again, I'm selling Shakeology, I'm selling challenge groups, I'm selling PD. What's going to make you stand out is your personal growth journey. So give an amazing experience. I'm going to challenge you to go above and beyond. You'll find your place in that. And if that's hard for you to kind of connect the dots, because if you said that to me 2 years ago, I'd be like, what does that mean? It's just because I kept going and I learned more about myself. Now I'm so compelled to change all the lives. I'm so excited about it. The 5th skill is introducing the coaching opportunity. So social media, find, form, invite, give that amazing experience, whether it's free group, conversations, value, challenge group, and then because you did such a kick-ass job as a coach, people should be raving about their Beachbody coach. Like, you have to meet my Beachbody coach. Come on, like, I'm getting referrals at this point. Like, I want all my friends to be in this group. Is that okay? Now I'm introducing coaching, and they've already seen what I've done. They know what I do based on how I treated them. Segueing to the coach opportunity makes it so much easier. So those are the skills I'd love for you to sharpen over your career as a coach. And you know, if you sit down one day and you're like, okay, I don't know what's missing from my business. I'm really working hard on my workouts and you're doing all the vital behaviors. Take a look at some of these skills and ask Deb or ask whoever your mentor may be to sharpen them. Go on YouTube. Ask for accountability. I just dropped a fat chunk of change on Brendan Burchard's one-on-one mentoring today. So I'm excited to kind of learn from him. It's next level. So make the investment in yourself. This is my segue to PD. PD is your invisible tool belt. Without PD, and I don't mean, guys, 10 minutes of personal development. So this is where I challenge the vital behaviors, because 10 minutes of PD is what a Beachbody coach will do. The CEO who is serving others and changing others' lives and dedicated is fully immersed in PD, whether it's audio, you know, doing something like this, signing up for a seminar. What happens is, I believe that there's 3 types of personal development. There's the me book, which is the feel-good, rainbow, butterfly, unicorn, you are a badass book. You know, those kind of books. And those are easy. Everyone's like, yeah, PD, this is great. And then the second type of PD is a business book. You know, Compound Effect, 6 months to six figures, Go for No, network marketing, all those kind of books. Gotta have that too. Can't just be rainbows and butterflies changing my life over here. We're trying to run a business. Here's the third type that most people leave out, and it's experience. It's not a book, it's experience. So don't get stuck behind your computer. Don't get stuck with your nose in your book. Here's how I'll challenge you. I always send people with assignments and homework. When's the last time that you volunteered at a Super Saturday to be a part of the community and give back? This is your first step to becoming a CEO. I started off as the ticket girl. Then I handed out Energize shots. Then I started sharing my story. Then I started doing trainings. And now I'm doing more events. If you want to serve and you want to lead and you want that human connection, that experience. So you guys know at Summit, right? That's why events matter, is it's that human connection. That experience, there's nothing else that can replace that. You need an experience that literally, like, you feel that momentum. It's pulled right out of you. But if you sit at home and do the same thing 7 days a week and shove your nose in a book for 10 minutes a day, eventually that's not going to shape you as a CEO. That's going to bring you success in the beginning. But I don't want just the beginning. I want, like, abundance. I want it all for you. All of it. You have no idea. I'm that crazy person who wants everything for everyone. So To kind of wrap this up, the amount of personal growth that you do in really big ways, push yourself outside your comfort zone. If you guys aren't doing live videos, if you guys aren't creating some type of content that is specific to what you offer, just go for it. I'm not asking for 25 hours a week of your time. I'm asking for you to just go that extra mile. Take a look at where you stand on a scale of 1 to 10 for those 5 skills. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your social media? If you're not working on your social media, if you're not, doing any type of like asking for critiques, watching videos. And the best thing is in this business, guys, is we have silent mentors on social media every day. You can watch the best social media posters and you guys can get the idea of what real vulnerable sharing is like. We get paid to be blog posters and social media posters. Like, that blows my mind. And then what type of experience opportunity are you offering, to kind of wrap it up? So I have like a lot of notes on this, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time.
Well, you're totally good, Colleen. We're enjoying this. So
okay. I'll make some other recommendations for personal development for you guys, because people tend to message me after and they want to know. And here's what I want to say about PD is everyone is different. And so when I came into this, I was that full-on student. I was a student that was like, I don't care what you teach me, I will do it. You're successful. I listened to the authors. I listened to people on YouTube. I listened to my mentors. And then I kind of made it my own. Personal development for me, like when I signed up, I didn't have fear. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but I wasn't like, ooh, like, I'm going to post a picture of my body, or, oh, what if my mom sees this post? Like, I didn't worry about any of that stuff. So the PD I read was appropriate for me at the time. I think it's important to kind of connect with your upline or mentors and ask, what type of PD should I be doing? I recommend You're a Badass to all new coaches, because that's my style of coaching. Vulgar, to the point, honest, like, you have one life, you are a badass. It's like, it shaped my entire team culture. And then I recommend the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, because I feel like that's a really good way, and an even better compound effect from Darren Hardy that's a little bit more updated. Like when I read the compound effect, I'm like, yeah, I get it. If I eat 10 what are they called? Big Macs from McDonald's. I don't even know what they're called. Big Macs from McDonald's, I'm going to get fat. Yeah, okay, I know that. So the compound effect to me was just like surface level, but the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster really connected to me. 6 Months to Six Figures is a great business book if you are goal-oriented, if you like numbers. There's a lot of stats in there about numbers. The 10X rule for me was a life-changing book and business-changing book, because when my husband went through his chemo, I got really sick. I couldn't see him for a week, so I was like quarantined to a room. And then my grandmother passed away, and I was like, oh my God, like, universe, I hear you loud and clear. Give me a break somewhere. I was walking through the airport, and I looked in the bookstore, and this book, it says the 10X rule and this big thing, and it just stuck out at me. And I actually made an academy for my coaches. It was a 5-day quick academy teaching them how to get 10X results in their business. All it is putting in more effort and having an abundance mindset, pretty much. But the 10X rule is something that you really have to understand in this business, because too many people think like, oh, well, I tried. I invited 10 people today. Oh, didn't work. It's like you got to try it 10 times harder, and a lot of the efforts that we put in. Thinking for a change. So if you're trying to master this mindset and that is your demon, it's so funny. 2 years ago, if you were to talk to me about mindset, I wouldn't even know where to go in my brain and what pocket to go into in my brain to find the power of mindset. But I started reading these books and having a lot of moments as I'm highlighting and reading, and then it started to come together. So I recommend Thinking for a Change by John C. Maxwell. I recommend The Magic of Thinking Big. It's kind of like where it starts to get into more of like the, and don't get scared off by this word spiritual, but you've got to be connected to yourself in this business, guys, because guess what? It's me in this office and that's it. No boss, no cheerleaders, no business partners sitting here by my side. And so it's you in between this beautiful head of yours. It's this brain and heart. So if you don't think your mind is a part of this business is going to be really hard for you. So, and then graduating on, once you have the kind of intro, the beginner mindset on your brain, is Gabby Bernstein. And for me, I love it. I love Gabby Bernstein because I'm totally like a crunchy hippie granola type of girl. And she talks about meditation. She talks about prayer. I don't personally pray. I'm not religious, but I definitely speak out to the universe and put the vibes out there. So if you're looking, guys, to get in tune with that, Gabby Bernstein, The Universe Has Your Back. That's like been my team's life-changing book this year. And everyone who's open and willing to receive that message and ready for it says, thank you so much. But I've also had people say, hey, you know what, Colleen, that book, I read it and I couldn't even digest the first 2 pages. So that just means it's not the right time for you to read that. Maybe it's not your vibe. Don't feel like you have to keep shoving it down your throat. And then podcasts for me. So again, you have to be open-minded and willing to receive the message, but The Power is an audiobook. It's written by the same person as The Secret. It's very theatric, I'm not gonna lie. They have like sound effects and it's very dramatic. But when I wake up in the morning and it's freezing cold and I don't wanna do anything, I put on this audiobook and I love essential oils just for the smell. It smells pretty, makes me focus. And that's my PD in the morning. And so I got this idea where personal development, you need to literally inject it into your veins. Not literally, I should have said figuratively. Because when my husband went through chemo, I sat there and watched him hooked up and it's like poison going through his body. And we had to focus on replenishing that positivity. My husband was snowboarding. It was like, you wouldn't have even known he was in chemo. He's like total mind over matter kind of guy. And so I just picture this, guys, as negativity and challenge comes in your life, you immediately have to whip out your personal development as your tools and figuratively inject this into your veins. So in the morning, I don't know about you guys, but mornings are stressful. I don't even have kids yet, and mornings are stressful. They're busy, you have a to-do list, you're overwhelmed, maybe you're not confident, you're just in a rut in life. I promise you, the more you inject your brain and your veins with this, you'll eventually start to believe it. If you're not open-minded to it and you play The Power, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is so annoying. It's a little theatric. But if you're willing to be the student of it, it's very life-changing. And 2 of my coaches who were really struggling with their life recently adopted this, and really creepy universe aligning crazy things have been happening, like money stuff, life stuff. It's been really awesome for me to watch. So I'm very passionate about sharing that with people who are kind of ready for that. So if you guys have questions for me, I'd love questions because I always feel like people stare at me like a deer in the headlights at the end. So,
well, I just have to say that I am absolutely in love with you. You are you're my new girl crush, and not even Wednesday, so you'll just be my everyday woman crush.
Oh,
I actually got a little teary-eyed when you were talking because your passion is, and your message is just, it speaks so much to the heart of what we do and finding your joy in what we do. And, when you go from coach to CEO, I think that's really, I think sometimes we think that means we're getting out of the warm fuzzies of it, but the way you described it, it's like taking that whole warm fuzzy to a whole new level.
Beyond words, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really didn't intend to take all these notes, but I really feel like you're going to be my power PD in the morning. I mean, seriously, you guys, you can unmute yourself and make comments or ask questions, but Jen, I know you're really good at that too. So let me review my notes, and Jen, you speak some of your mind too.
Yeah, I didn't jot down notes. I was listening so intently, and I definitely will go and re-listen. And I'm sorry, not a lot of my team is on the call tonight. It's a shame because I hope they do take the time to re-listen to you because, I feel like I think a lot of fear, it comes into play and I did a live video about fear yesterday. Fear can hold you back or it can propel you forward. It's one or the other. And I think with coaching opportunity and sharing the opportunity or just sharing what we have, and it's so much more than just our home workouts and Shakeology, like you said. When I think about how I manage my life, and I speak a lot to busy moms that are working a full-time job and just don't have the time to take care of themselves. I know that's how I began, and so that I share a lot about that. And it's always so much more than just my workouts or Shakeology, which I love and has obviously changed my health. But, I feel like people need to hear so much beyond just the products. And it really drives me crazy when coaches say, you know, I'm trying to close a deal, or I'm trying to convince them to do, you know, it's like, guys, you know, think outside the box here. We're not just salespeople. And so I think that speaks to a lot of a coach mindset versus a CEO, just, you know, a girl boss, like we like to say too, you know, it just speaks to that kind of mindset instead. So I really love a lot of the stuff that you shared, because
Thank you.
yeah, it is just taking it like a whole 10x level further, you know. And Grant Cardone also, I'm in the middle of his book, Be Obsessed or Be Average. And that's another great book in addition to 10X. If you've gone through 10X, go to that one, because he shares so much about his life and where he's come from and how he got into writing about 10Xing things and just not living an average life and just being obsessed with life, with the things you want to go after, just being obsessed. And so that's kind of the CEO mindset too, is just being obsessed, you know. But thank you for all your golden nuggets. I really don't have like too many questions. I'd love for others on the phone to ask a question. So obviously, you know, feel free, girls, to speak up. Now's your opportunity.
Before you guys get out of your comfort zones.
Yes.
I remember when we first started Zooms and we had coaches on, I was like, question. It doesn't have to be about this. It can be about anything.
One of my favorite things you said is to make your post like a Super Bowl ad. I mean, that just, you know, what you spoke about is like stuff that just, you know, I find myself doing some of the coach things that you said. And when I look at my business, you know, I'm like, you know, there's areas of my business where I am being the coach instead of the CEO. I mean, even, you know, I've been in it 6 years, and, you know, that just really spoke to me. It just was a great reminder. You know, when you talk about your team and the culture, can you share a little bit more about how you, you know, operate in your team page and with your team? I mean, you know, you said that you have 20 to 30 people on your team calls, and I have to do that tomorrow and like wow your team. So that's like big shoes to fill. So how do you get your team engaged?
I honestly think that, so let me say this, like Elizabeth Harkey is my upline and I love her. And Keith Callahan, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but that's her upline. And they have built such amazing, strong businesses. Their depth is just mind-blowing, that it's kind of self-sustaining. And so I crave human connection. So bless Liz's heart, the way that she does her team page is not my style. I was like, I want more from her. I want to know, what is she doing? I want to know this. And so I took that experience and I made sure that I gave my team what I wish I had more of. And so like I share how I feel. I share PD in there. I go in there live quite often. I send out a newsletter once a week, sometimes every other week. I'm not like very systematic about it. If I like have something on my heart, I'll share it. But I really believe that this entire business is personal growth. And so when my team is having these aha moments and they're like, oh my God, Colleen, that thing that you told me to try and focus on, like, look at this now. I'm really big on that human connection. And I tell people there's 3 ways you show up. If you want this business, you're going to show up on my team calls. You're going to show up on your social media, and you're going to show up in your health and fitness. And it's going to show on your social media if you're doing your workout, if you're doing your PD. So often when I'm mentoring coaches that aren't on my team, they're like, hey, Colleen, like help me with social media. I go to their page and I scroll and I'm like, I don't even know you do PD. I just know you work out. I don't even know anything about you and your life. I just know that you eat out of a red container, you know? And so people will be inspired by this happy, vibrant life you're creating because of all this growth that you're experiencing. So my most successful coaches, our entire social media is PD. So I've really taught them that this experience of growth is what we share, and we just all connect in our team page a lot. But I'm big on showing up.
Yeah.
I really set that expectation with them.
Well, and you know, as you were speaking about the way you're different from the way Elizabeth is, I mean, your vibe attracts your tribe. So, you know, it sounds like your tribe, your team page tribe is very much, you know, you like that, you know, personal connection, all that. And, I was thinking about, me, like, I know I'm a very well-known public introvert. So, I'm so attracted to your vibe, but I don't know if I could keep up with your energy. Right. So, I'm just thinking about, I would, I'm sitting here listening to, like, I would love to take you. I would love to be you for my team, but as we always say, we have to do you. We have to do us. Right.
Uh-huh.
And so, it's taking the vibe that you have or that Elizabeth has. You took the greatness, the best of what she had to offer you, and you made it you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's definitely food for thought for me too.
And someone that you might kind of want to study, she's one of my most successful coaches. Her name's Candace Rogers, and she was full-blown introvert. Like, I would bring her to a Super Saturday to share her amazing story, and, like, words wouldn't come out of her mouth. Like, so shy, painfully shy. And now I watch her on live videos, and I'm like, who is this? And her PD became studying introverts.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her once, I said, being an introvert isn't a disease. Not saying that this is for you, but I know other people need to hear this. Being an introvert isn't a disease. You can totally rock this and be confident and have that energy if you choose to kind of learn how to manage it. And so I like totally pulled that out of my butt, just so you know, when I said that to her back in the day. And then she started studying this, and she's taught me so much about introverts, because, like, after this call, I go and I'm like, no one talk to me. But because this is my passion work, my energy is there. Like, social media, super extroverted.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this part for me is what brings me life. So I always tell people, like, whatever gives you energy, just dive into that. And then you can always have, like, business partners and success partners on the energy side. That's kind of how my business partners work.
Nice. Does anybody have anything they want to contribute? I think you guys are probably just, like, blown away with, like, tons of things to think about. I don't want to keep everybody up too late, but like I said, this has absolutely been an amazing call. It has just fed my soul. I hope that it has fed everybody's soul that's on here. And anybody that's listening, I know it seems like you're getting the same thing when you listen to the recording, but it's just not the same, right, Colleen?
Yep, it's not.
It's the same.
And I share on my like page a lot, just Colleen Curtice. I do Beautiful Minds episodes, and so I share, like, anywhere from 10 to 30-minute videos of how I've changed my life and tips and tricks, lots of personal development, so you guys can come follow.
We are going to be tuning in, I can assure you of that. So thank you so much. I've just loved this hour, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, girl. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.